Now, 5 to 6, here's an announcement from your captain. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride, and apparently it's going to get bumpier in future, according to scientists from Reading University. Apparently, climate change could cause a lot more turbulence for airline passengers. One of the men behind the research joins me now, Dr. Paul Williams, atmospheric scientist at the University of Reading. Well, what's going on here, Paul?
Well, what's going on is that climate change is not only warming the lower part of the atmosphere where we live, and that's what most people think of when they think about climate change. What it's also doing is it's changing the basic conditions in the atmosphere 10 kilometres above our heads where planes fly. And particularly what it's doing is that it's speeding up the atmospheric jet stream up there, and that's making the atmosphere more susceptible to the instability that causes turbulence to form.
So there's going to be more of it if climate change continues?
Yes, in the study we're publishing this week, we've analysed supercomputer simulations of the jet stream, and we've looked at the North Atlantic Ocean, which is very important for aviation because there are 600 planes a day crossing the Atlantic. We found that the amount of airspace containing significant turbulence is likely to double by the middle of this century, and also the average strength of the turbulence will increase by between 10 and 40%. So both an increase in the strength and the frequency of encountering it.
Yeah, now if you've been on a plane in turbulence, you'll know that normally they try and fly around it or go above it or do something like that, which presumably means going a bit further.
Well, that's right. That's going to add to journey times. Pilots, whenever they encounter turbulence, they let the next pilot behind them know about it. And that's one of the main sources of information that pilots have, actually. And in fact, the first flight of the morning on a particular route is usually particularly bumpy, precisely because there was no previous pilot to tell the next pilot where not to go.
So in future, is there anything we can do about it?
There is a bit of a ray of light, which is that if we can get better as scientists at predicting this turbulence in advance, then that would avoid pilots to be able to plan would allow pilots to be able to plan their flight routes knowing where the turbulence is going to be. We're quite good at predicting it in advance, a few hours or maybe the day before, but there's a lot of room for improvement, and the methods we have at the moment are certainly not 100% accurate.
Let's see what happens in the future. Dr. Paul Williams from the University of Reading.